Hello everyone and welcome to the lecture on Azure Management Hierarchy, Management Groups, Subscriptions, Resource Groups and Resources. So this lecture will contain all these topics. What is Azure Resource Hierarchy, Azure Resource Manager, Management Groups, Subscription, Policy, RBAC and Lock, Policy and RBAC Inheritance, Resource Locks, Azure Tag Inheritance, Azure Policy Evaluation, Integrations, when to choose each level and how to decide, Azure Landing Zone, Subscription Vending, and Common Exam Gotchas. First topic, what is Azure Resource Hierarchy? Azure Resource Hierarchy is the organizational framework that lets you structure your Azure environment and govern every resource from the top down. You can think of it like a corporate org chart. Company-wide governance sits at the top, then departments and projects, and finally individual servers and databases at the bottom. The hierarchy solves a real problem. Without it, managing hundreds of subscriptions and thousands of resources becomes total chaos. Without a hierarchy, you cannot enforce consistent security policies, you cannot track cost by department, and you cannot delegate access cleanly. The hierarchy has 4 nested levels: management groups, subscriptions, resource groups, and resources. Each level scopes governance tighter than the one above it. Policies and permissions you set at the top automatically flow downward to all child levels. This gives you consistent governance without touching every resource one by one. Next topic, Azure Resource Manager. Azure Resource Manager is the deployment and management service that organizes every Azure environment. It handles requests coming from the portal, CLI, PowerShell, and REST APIs. Azure Resource Manager authenticates and authorizes every single operation, then routes each request to the correct Azure service. All 4 hierarchy levels live within ARM, whether it is management groups, subscriptions, resource groups, or resources. Everything is managed through Azure Resource Manager. Next topic, management groups. Management groups sit at the very top of the Azure hierarchy. They are the containers that live above subscriptions and provide enterprise-scale governance. You can nest management groups inside other management groups. This lets you build a tree structure that reflects your organization. Every directory has one single root called the tenant root group. Its ID matches your Microsoft Entra ID tenant ID, and it cannot be moved or deleted. Every subscription and every management group ultimately folds up into the tenant root group. Nothing lives outside of it. When you assign a policy or a role at a management group, that assignment cascades down to every subscription, resource group, and resource beneath it. The tree supports up to 6 levels of depth below the root, and a single directory can hold up to 10,000 management groups. Fourth topic is subscription. Subscription sits one level down from management groups. A subscription is the primary unit of billing, scale, and access control in Azure. A subscription acts as a boundary for quotas, cost tracking, and identity. It is where billing, resource limits, and role-based access control permissions are all scoped. A single subscription can contain resources across multiple regions. Subscriptions are not tied to any specific geography. Each subscription has exactly one parent management group. New subscriptions land in the root management group by default until someone moves them to another management group. Next, policy, RBAC, and lock. So I will cover resource groups and resources also here. So resource groups are logical containers that hold related Azure resources sharing the same lifecycle. The region you set only determines where metadata is stored, not where the resources live. Resources inside can span multiple regions. Resource groups cannot be nested, they are flat within a subscription, and each resource belongs to only one resource group. Next, resources. Resources are the actual things you deploy, like virtual machines, storage accounts, databases, and virtual networks. Every resource lives inside exactly one resource group, but resources can still connect to resources in other resource groups. Next, inheritance model. The inheritance model ties it all together. Policies, RBAC role assignments, and resource locks cascade down through every level. A subscription owner cannot override a policy inherited from a parent management group. They can only request an exemption. Next topic policy and RBAC inheritance. Policy inheritance is the foundation of governance. A policy assigned at a management group applies to every subscription and resource beneath it, and lower level owners cannot alter or remove it. They can only create auditable, time bound exemptions or use scope exclusions at assignment time. RBAC inheritance works the same way. A role assigned at a management group flows down to all child scopes. The model is additive, so reader plus contributor equals contributor at that scope. Up to 4,000 role assignments are supported per subscription and 500 per management group. Seventh topic is resource locks. Resource locks come in two flavors. Cannot delete prevents deletion but still allows modifications. Read only restricts all users to read only operations and overrides RBAC roles. Locks inherit downward through the hierarchy. A lock placed on a resource group applies to every resource inside that group. When multiple locks exist in the chain, the most restrictive lock wins across the entire scope. Locks only apply to control plane operations, which means management actions like delete, modify, and create. They do not apply to data plane operations. For example, a read-only lock on an SQL server blocks deletion of the server, but you can still run queries against the database because those are data plane actions. Eighth topic is Azure tag inheritance. Tags placed on a resource groups do not flow down to their resources automatically. So do not flow down, right? This is one of the most commonly misunderstood behaviors in Azure. And to fix this, you must apply tags explicitly to each individual resource or use Azure policy with a modify effect to enforce tag inheritance. So next topic is moving subscriptions between management groups. So subscriptions can be moved between management groups. When moved, the subscription inherits new policies and new RBAC assignments from its new parent management group. Both the source and the target management groups require appropriate permissions for the move. Hierarchy changes can take up to 30 minutes to propagate because of Azure Resource Manager caching. Next topic, Azure Policy Evaluation. Azure Policy is the primary governance tool in Azure. It can be assigned at the management group, subscription, or resource group scope. Policy affects control what happens during evaluation. Deny blocks non-compliant non-compliant deployments. Deploy if not exist auto remediates by deploying missing configuration. For example, automatically enabling diagnostic settings on new resources. 10th topic is integrations. So here in this diagram, first I'll just cover this. So these are 4 integration: Microsoft Entra ID, Azure Policy, Cost Management, and Privileged Identity Management. So here this is at management group. So scope is management group for Microsoft Entra ID. Azure Policy, you can have management group, subscription, and resource group. For cost management, the integration is at all the 4 levels: management group, subscription, resource group, and resources. Similarly, for privileged identity management, you have management group and subscription. So first point, Microsoft Entra ID underpins the entire hierarchy. Each tenant has exactly one management group tree, and all security principles like users, groups, service principles, and managed identities are Entra ID objects. Global administrators can elevate themselves to manage the root, and privileged identity management adds just-in-time, time-bound role activation. Next, Azure Cost Management operates across all hierarchy levels. Cost data rolls up from resources through resource groups, subscriptions, and management groups. A separate tag inheritance feature in cost management copies resource groups tags onto usage records for reporting without modifying the actual resource tags. Next one, Azure landing zones provide a reference architecture that structures management groups into platform, landing zones, sandbox, and decommissioned branches. Each branch has tailored policy assignments that cascade down to subscriptions inside them. 11th topic is when to choose each level and how to decide. So first one, management groups are for governance at scale. Use them when you need consistent policies across many subscriptions. To enforce allowed regions, require specific tags, mandate security configs, or provide access across multiple subscriptions with a single assignment. Subscriptions are billing and isolation boundaries. Use a new subscription when you need separate billing, quota limits, environment isolation, or compliance separation. The Cloud Adoption Framework recommends separate subscriptions for dev, test, and production environments. Resource groups are lifecycle containers. Use them to group resources that are deployed and deleted together, or resources that need the same access permissions. If resources have different life cycles or different owners, split them into separate resource groups. 12th is Azure landing zone. It is one of the reference architecture. The Azure landing zone hierarchy places an intermediate root group just below the tenant root group. Underneath it sits the platform management group for shared services, the landing zones management group for workloads, plus sandbox for experimentation, and decommissioned for retired subscriptions. Next topic is subscription vending. So it is also part of similar to landing zone architecture. So here basically we have a kind of a vending machine and where we give out subscriptions. Subscription vending automates the creation and configuration of new subscription through self-service pipelines. So teams can request a new subscription and get one ready to use. Each vended subscription comes pre-configured with budgets, RBAC assignments, policy assignments, network configuration, and Defender for cloud setup. Everything is driven by infrastructure as code, and official Bicep and Terraform modules exist for this particular pattern. 14th topic is common exam gotchas. So basically we have 5, but 5th and 6th is combined, merged. So first one, resource groups are flat. They cannot be nested. You cannot create a resource group inside another resource group. The hierarchy is strictly management group, then subscription, then resource group, then resource. Deleting a resource group deletes everything inside it, and there is no undo. Azure Resource Manager deletes child resources first, then managed resources, then the rest. A single cannot delete lock on any resource inside blocks the entire resource group deletion. A resource group's region is about metadata, not about its resources. Resources inside can be deployed to completely different regions. The region you pick determines where Azure stores the management metadata, which is relevant for data residency compliance. Tags do not inherit automatically. So if you tag a resource group cost center equals finance, the virtual machines inside will not have that tag unless you apply it explicitly or enforce it using Azure policy. And fifth and sixth, so the management group hierarchy maximum max at 6 levels below the root. The root management group and the subscription level do not count toward this limit. So basically you have tenant and you can have 6 beneath it, but the root is not counted. Microsoft recommends keeping it to 3 or 4 levels to avoid unnecessary complexity. And nobody has default access to the root management group. Only Microsoft Entra global administrators can elevate themselves to manage it. And that's all. Thanks for watching.